Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah. All right. Let's see who this person is.
Judge, when you get a minute, you can call Jesse Smith. I've got a letter from the hospital. He's in the hospital.
Okay. Okay. All right. In the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Jesse Allen Smith, file number 2023-21555FH and 23-21556FH. I have David Goldstein appearing on behalf of Mr. Smith, and I have Alexander Bayonetto appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date and time set for a pretrial in this matter. Mr. Goldstein.
Your Honor, I received Monday a letter from the University of Michigan Hospital indicating that Mr. Smith appeared at the, I guess at the ER the Friday before the 3rd. And they admitted him. They obviously will not give me any details, but I do have the letter that I can present to the court, and I can get one to Mr. Bayonetto.
Okay.
So I'm asking the matter be adjourned. Since I don't know how long he's going to be in, I would say probably early December might be safe.
Okay. Mr. Bayonetto, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll set this over to December 6th at 8:30. Is that all right with you, Mr. Goldstein?
Perfect, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, so we'll set a pretrial for 12/6, and Mr. Goldstein, you'll do the stiffen order to adjourn.
Yes.
Mr. Bayonetto, can you sign your name with permission?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, excellent. All right, Mr. Goldstein, I think that's all I have with you until our trial resumes.
I've got another one, but I don't know if it's you or Judge Olsaber.
What's the name?
Jared Coley.
I do. Let's see. H-I-J-K. No, I do not have Coley, so that must be in front of Judge Olsaber.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I have someone with a ceiling fan in the background. What is your name, sir?
Mr. James Derby. D-E-R-B-Y. James.
Okay. And you are represented by Miss Underwood. And
Yeah.
she is in a breakout room speaking with another client. So I'm going to change your screen name, and then I'm going to pop you in the waiting room, okay?
Okay.
All right. Mr. Myers, you represent Tyler Van EPs. So I've got a bunch of people with no names, so I'm going to try to find them, all right?
Oh, sure thing. Thank you, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, I have someone who's logged on an iPhone. I just sent you a request to unmute. What is your name, please?
Tyler.
Okay. Kyler Van EPs?
Yes.
Okay. All right, there you are. Okay, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Kyler Sean Van EPs, file number 2023-21546FH. I have attorney Sean Myers appearing on behalf of Mr. Van EPs, and I have Alexander Bayonetto appearing on behalf of the people. This is a date and time set for a pretrial in this matter. Mr. Myers, how would you like to proceed today?
Judge, Mr. Bayonetto and I may have a resolution worked out. My understanding is that that he will need approval from the complaining witness on this. And he's going to have the victim's advocate reach out on this. And so we're requesting an adjournment of approximately 2 to 3 weeks so that can be accomplished, as long as that's all right with the court.
That's fine. Mr. Bayonetto, no objection then?
No, Your Honor. That's correct. I have to reach the complaining witness.
So November 29 or December 6th?
Everyone works better for Mr. Myers' schedule.
The 29th would be great, as long as that would be enough time for Mr. Bayonetto.
Could be, yeah.
Cool.
All right, so I will set this over to November 29 at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Myers, can you prepare a stiffen order to adjourn? And Mr. Bayonetto, can you sign your name with permission?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, excellent. Very good. So Mr. Van EPs, your bond conditions are continued, and we will see you back on November 29 at 8:30. Mr. Myers, Wednesday mornings are pretty hectic. If you reach a resolution and you call my staff, it takes 10 minutes to take a plea. We'll get you in any day of the week.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it. I'll do that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Van Epps.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bye-bye. All right, Ms. Underwood, let me close that breakout room. I'll bring him back, and I have, looks like your other MDOC ones are here too. All right, so let me get Mr. Wilson's file. All right, we are on the record in the matter of people of the state of Michigan versus Frederick Wilson, file number 2023-21557FH. I have Rhonda Underwood appearing on behalf of Mr. Wilson, and I have Alexander Bayanetto appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date and time. This is date time set for pretrial in this matter. Ms. Underwood, how would you like to proceed today?
Thank you, Your Honor. I've spoken with the prosecutor of this case, Mr. Sneed, and Your Honor, we would request that Mr. Wilson be allowed to plead guilty to count 2 of an amended complaint, attempted assault of a prison employee, and I would be requesting a COBS to the low end of the guidelines on this case, Your Honor.
Mr. Bayanetto?
Your Honor, I am looking at Mr. Sneed's notes. His notes do reflect that he would allow the defendant to plead to an attempt. I don't know if we have an amended information. If not, I can get that to you, Judge.
We don't, but I can, as long as you get it to me today, I'm fine with that. Okay, and that's fine, Ms. Underwood. The low end of the guidelines is fine. All right, Mr. Wilson, you want to raise your right hand for me? Yeah. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, now, Mr. Wilson, have you heard, you can put your hand down. All right, Mr. Wilson, have you heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney stating that the plea offer is to plead to an amended information with an added count 2 of attempted assault of a prison employee, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 2.5 years in prison? Did you hear that?
Yes.
And do you understand that plea bargain?
Yes.
Okay, and you understand your attorneys asked that you be sentenced to the low end of the guidelines. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And the court has agreed to do that, okay?
Yes.
All right, so is it your intention then to plead guilty to count 2 attempted assault of a prison employee?
Yes.
Okay, are you satisfied with Ms. Underwood as your attorney and the advice that she has given you?
Yes.
Other than the agreement that was placed on the record, neither the prosecutor, the defendant, nor anyone on the defendant's behalf has discussed any other possible sentence with the court. Is that correct, Ms. Underwood?
It is, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Bayanetto?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is that correct, Mr. Wilson? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Wilson, if a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights that you would have had at a trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at your trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial and not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Do you understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at trial? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. Do you have any questions about the rights that I've given to you?
No.
All right, so sir, how do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about April 25 of 2022 in the city or the township of Adrian in the county of Lenawee, that you did commit the crime of attempted assault of a prison employee? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay, and has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to this charge?
No.
Do you understand that if I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises or threats or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Ms. Underwood?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bayonetto?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bayonetto, you understand the plea agreement involves me sentencing you to the low end of the guidelines. And I don't know what those are, but whatever they are, do you understand that's what your minimum sentence will be?
Yes.
Okay. Is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Wilson, what prison are you currently at?
Adrian.
Okay. So on April 25 of last year, 2022, were you at the Gus Harrison prison in Lenawee County?
Yes.
If I told you it was in Adrian Township, would you agree with that?
Yes.
I believe
Okay.
it's Madison, Your Honor.
Well, I never know because the felony informations either have Adrian or Madison. Mr. Bayonetto, if it's Madison, that needs to be corrected.
I thought it was Adrian Township, Your Honor.
I know half of them say Adrian, half say Madison. Maybe it's in both. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like Meyer. Half of it's in one township and half's the other. But Mr. Wilson, would you agree that Gus Harrison facility is in Lenawee County?
Yes.
Okay, and you're a prisoner there, correct?
Yes.
And on April 25 of last year, were you also still a prisoner?
Yes.
And you were there because you were either convicted at trial or you entered a plea bargain, is that correct?
Yes.
And you were serving a sentence for that crime, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now, did you assault an officer, Kruska, who was a correction officer there?
Yes.
So tell me what you did. Did you kick him, punch him, spit on him? What did you do to him?
I spit on
Okay, all right. And you didn't have permission to do that, right?
No.
All right, Mr. Bayonetto, are you satisfied?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, has the court complied with MCR 6.302 B, C, and D? Ms. Underwood?
It has, Your Honor.
Mr. Bayonetto?
I believe it has, Your Honor, yes.
All right, this court has accept the plea. It's been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of his rights and he does have competent counsel. This court has made a Cobb's agreement regarding the sentence in this case, and the court will honor that. I'm going to refer this matter to the probation department for a pre-sentence investigation. So someone's going to talk to you and prepare a report for sentencing, Mr. Wilson. I need you to be truthful with them about your background and also the events that occurred. And then I'm going to set this for sentencing on December 20. Becky, am I not doing, do I have a regular Wednesday docket on December 20, Ms. Adams?
I believe so. Yes. Yes.
Because do you want to move the sentencing like 2 weeks past that? Like, do I have an alternate January sentencing date?
Thursdays and Fridays were closed is why, so I'm looking.
I was looking at 4th, 5th, 11th, 12th.
Yeah, we could do January 5th.
All right, so Mr. Wilson, I'm going to set this for sentencing on January 5 at 8:15 in the morning. Now, Mr. Wilson, you do have the right to appear in person, but you also can say that you want to appear via Zoom like you are today. So do you want to appear for sentencing via Zoom or do you want to be brought in person?
Zoom.
Okay, all right, so we'll make that via Zoom. Okay, all right, Mr. Wilson, we'll see you back on that day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Your Honor, just to make sure, do we have fingerprints in the file for Mr. Wilson?
Well, no, how do we not have fingerprints? All right, so is there anybody in the room with you, Mr. Wilson?
No.
Okay, Ms. Adams?
Judge, we usually have to do writs for those, so I'll find out if one's done or not.
Okay, all right, so Mr. Wilson, someone will be fingerprinting you for this file as well. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wilson.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You would think since he committed the offense at the prison that he would be fingerprinted, but maybe not. All right, so I'm looking, Ms. Brenner, for your, get you on your way. Let's see.
I have 4 this morning with Rhonda, Judge.
Just one with me down here though, right?
No, they're all with you. I have Robeson, Wallace, Brown, and Spalding.
All right, well, I'm not gonna worry about you then. All right, I have a gentleman joining me from the Michigan Department of Corrections. What's your name, sir?
Ahmad.
All right, Mr. Love, hold on a second. Let me grab your file.
Okay.
There we go. And, okay. Oh, this is actually Mr. Malaro, sorry. All right, this is, where are you at right now, Mr. Love?
I'm at Manistee, Michigan Correctional Facility.
You're at the reception center, ECF, or? Yeah. Okay. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Jarrell Ahmad Love, file number 2023-21537FH. This is the date and time set for a pretrial conference in this matter. I have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. Love, and I have Alexander Bayonetto appearing on behalf of the people. Mr. Malaro, how would you like to proceed today?
Judge, may I have a real quick breakout with Mr. Love, and then I think we'll be able to
rename his screen. All right, Mr. Love, I just changed your screen name, and I'm going to open up a breakout room for you and Mr. Malaro to chat. There you go. And go ahead and, yep, he's done. All right. Are either of you a defendant? Are you a defendant? Have a case here today?
Yes.
What's your name?
John Schwier.
Mr. Schwier. Okay, Mr. Murphy is your attorney. So I don't believe I have Mr. Murphy yet. He's in the other court.
He's not here.
Well, he's always here. Someone will be here. You got, yeah, you always have your attorney because it's a pretrial, okay? All right. Nope, you're a pretrial today, so just hold on. We'll get with you in a minute. Mr. Murphy just popped in, actually. So why don't you come up to this podium and stand in front of the microphone, all right?
Can I sit?
You know what? You can sit at that table. Yeah. Will you go move those chairs for him? Let him sit where a prosecutor sits. Mr. McCure, what case are you here on?
I'm here for William Randall's. There was an adjournment from last Wednesday.
I just wanted to make a note, so I didn't forget. I don't see him.
In person last week.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Murphy, I have Mr. Schweikert here. He is seated, so he doesn't have to stand. So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus John Lewis Schweikert, file number 2023-21496FH. I have Matthew Murphy appearing on behalf of Mr. Schweikert, and I have Alexander Bayanetto appearing on behalf of the people. This is a date and time set for a pretrial conference in this matter. So it's not sentencing, it's a pretrial, sir. Do you understand that?
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Murphy, how do you wish to proceed?
Your Honor, I had spoken with my client over the phone a little bit earlier this morning and explained to him the offer from the prosecution from Mr. Sneed would be for Mr. Schweikert to plead as charged with no habituals to the OWI third felony. That sentencing would be delayed a year, and that if he performed well on the supervision during that 1 year, that the case would at that point be dropped down to an OWI second. And so he does wish to again enter a plea per that plea agreement, if I was correct on those terms.
So we recently had a meeting about some issues with pleas of that nature. So Miss Adams, could you have Miss McGreen come in?
Okay.
Because there was something happened, and I don't remember what it was with a couple of the cases. So he'd be pleading straight up, and if he successfully completes a delayed probation.
Yeah, the statute allows for a delay of sentencing. And that's what we're trying to do here, because it allows for the prosecution to do whatever at that point with it. Dismissal or reduce the charge or continue as charged. And for the court to continue sentence.
Hold on, Mr. Murphy. So this is one I don't remember what our conversation was, but it gets hold on with third.
So there's a way to do the paperwork. I would have Phoebe come in from Savers because she's the one who knows how to do that process.
But for taking a plea, do I need that?
I would think so, because there's going to be a change in whether it's a sentence that gets changed or a plea that gets withdrawn. So I would pull her in. There's specifics, and I don't want the plea to have to get.
Okay, so Mr. Murphy, can we wait on this until Ms. Meir is available? We had a bunch of meetings because everything was going awry with these. And I think the meeting was with Ms. Meir on the paperwork that needs to be done so that it doesn't affect them negatively. So there was some confusion and some issues with this type of plea. So Mr. Bayanetto, perhaps you can check with Ms. Meir, because the meeting was with her on how it has to be done so that it doesn't end up with a double suspension and some impacts.
Yep.
Your Honor, I have a trial down in district court, so I don't really have a lot of time this morning. Do we want to adjourn this then for another pre-trial date?
Probably can do that. I just don't want to impact his driver's license, and that's the issue we were having on some of them. So why don't we do that?
I mean, I doubt for this and another case as well.
Hold on. You don't have a driver's license?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I will never have one.
Never have one? Okay. So Mr. Murphy, perhaps Mr. Malaro could take the plea for you later?
Yeah, again, I would like to figure this out because there's another case I have with Mr. Bayanetto. I believe I offered, we're doing the same situation. So yeah, we want to figure this out. So Mr. Malaro can cover for me if it, because it's probably about 10 minutes or so I got to log out. So
okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we just set it over to next week? Can you come back next week?
If I have to, I wish I could do it today. I mean, my
okay
traveling ability.
Okay, so he has some issues with travel, so we're going to keep him here. Mr. Malaro, or Miss Underwood?
What am I doing?
You're helping Mr. Murphy out. Would you be able to stand by for a plea once we get some information from Phoebe Muir on the plea?
Okay, what's the name?
It's Mr. Schwier.
Yeah, I'll come talk to you about it, Sam, in your office.
Okay.
All right. So you just hang out. You hang out for a minute, all right? Okay.
Hey, Judge, I just
So-
wanted to add that Mr. Swikart has been doing remote breath with PBTs. He's been doing it for 2 months. He's done an excellent job.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay. All right. So Mr. Malaro back. Mr. Love is popping in. Need to one. All right, Mr. Love, you're back. Mr. Malaro, how would you like to proceed on behalf of Mr. Love?
Judge, on behalf of Mr. Love, I'd ask to adjourn this matter, the basis for which is we're looking into a current offer, but I want to make sure that it doesn't interfere with his current sentence in any way. So I'd ask to.
What's the offer?
2 aggravated assaults. I also would like to
Okay.
see if I can make that a little better.
Okay. All right. What are you serving now, Mr. Love? What's your sentence?
Judge's out date
3 years
expected to be
sentence?
April of 2025.
Okay. 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 All right. Mr. Malaro, November 29 or December 6?
November 29th will be fine, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Love, I'm gonna set this for another pretrial on November 29 at 8:30 in the morning, and we'll get a writ done, Mr. Bandetto, and bring you back. All right, Mr. Love?
All right, thank you, Your Honor, I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Judge.
Mr. Love. You have a good day.
Thank you, Jerome.
You too. All right, see you.
I'm gonna disconnect you, Mr. Love, unless you wanna hang out, but I'm gonna send you on your way, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I have a gentleman on an iPhone. What is your name, sir? Got a beard?
Benjamin Wallace.
Say it again.
Benjamin Wallace.
That's one of mine, Judge.
Yep. All right, I have another gentleman on a Samsung device with a black shirt on and glasses. What is your name?
My name is Chris Spalding.
That's
All right.
another one with Miss Brunner and I, Your Honor.
Yeah. Spalding.
Yep, Christopher Spalding. All right. All right, so Mr. Spalding, I'm gonna pop you in the waiting room real quick and we'll bring you right back in. All right, let me get Mr. Wallace's file. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Benjamin Ray Wallace, file number 22-20838FH. I have Ron Underwood appearing on behalf of Mr. Wallace and Sarah Brenner appearing on behalf of the Attorney General's office. This is a date and time set for pretrial. Last note I had, he was making payments. Where are we today, Miss Brenner and Miss Underwood?
Your Honor,
Your Honor. Go ahead, Rhonda.
I've spoken to Ms. Brunner and I've spoken to Mr. Wallace. Mr. Wallace continues to make payments, Your Honor. He's doing well at that. We're trying to fashion some sort of plea bargain for Mr. Wallace, but right now I think what we'd like is, I think Ms. Brunner would have no objection to a adjournment till after the new year, Your Honor, and for Mr. Wallace to continue making payments.
All right, Miss Brenner.
That's fine, Judge. And we were talking about potentially doing some sort of delay plea where you would take the plea under advisement instead of accepting it so that the felony wouldn't enter yet. So that's a potential resolution that we're looking at, but I don't have an objection to giving him more time to pay if the court's willing to give him more time.
Okay. All right. How far out? You said after the first of the year, Miss Underwood?
Yeah.
Let's see. How about January 10th at 8:30 in the morning?
That's fine, Your Honor, and I will do the stip and order in this matter with Ms. Brunner's permission, if I may.
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
Great. All right, Mr. Wallace, thank you for your diligence and trying to take care of that. And we will see you back on January 10th at 8:30 in the morning, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace.
Bye-bye.
Let me bring back in Mr. Spalding.
Is he the one with the injuries, Ron?
Yeah, yeah. He has to have more surgeries, Sarah.
Okay, okay.
Okay, we're live on YouTube. Remember HIPAA.
Sorry.
All right, let me get Mr. Spalding's. Get to Mr. Spalding. There it is. All right. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Christopher Spalding, file number 2023-21286FH. I have Rhonda Underwood appearing on behalf of Mr. Spalding and Sarah Brunner appearing on behalf of the people. Mr. Spalding, did you go get your fingerprints?
I don't think I did, honestly.
Okay, did you get an order to go get your fingerprints? Did you get an order? Okay. Miss Adams. So, Mr. Spalding, this is one that has to be taken care of by the Michigan State Police. And Miss Adams, do we have a phone number for him to contact for the MSP post?
I do not offhand. I'd have to look online. I can check.
So you have a couple options, Mr. Spalding. The Michigan State Police Post, we don't actually have one in Lenawee anymore, but they do have, they are at Gus Harrison facility. And then I think there's a Jonesville post. So you need, Miss Adams, can we mail him a copy of the order for fingerprints?
Absolutely.
All right, so Mr. Yeah, you got to get fingerprinted. So are you still, and I don't want the whole address. I just want to know, are you still on East Street North?